Greetings, everybody. Alafia, welcome, and it's always wonderful to be here with you. Um, so let's look at what does the practice of ancestral healing actually entail? That's the million-dollar question. Well, ancestral healing is personal, and it's varied in the process because it's a very bespoke, type of work. One size doesn't fit all, as you can imagine. Everybody's stories and histories and ancestral lineage is different. So there's not just one way to work with it, but there are some basic fundamentals. Um, so depending on the person's individual ancestral background, the first thing I usually tell people, as much as you can, because it's easier for some people than others, trying to do some research about your family history. It's a vital part of ancestral healing. Not to say that you can't practice ancestral healing if you don't have all the information. None of us have all the information about our ancestors, but as much as you can, if you have any siblings, if you have uncles, aunties, just ask questions, ask things, about your history, your family history, any unique things that happened, because all of this information will be gathered when I do the assessment, because it's all information that will help us in the process. And also it's useful for you, because some people find when they do this exploration, the information they gather in itself is healing, because there are things that they didn't know, information gold that is just literally in your backyard that you didn't, you just needed, just required you to ask. And sometimes, even if you don't have specific information about your family, you can find out. Like I'm from Yoruba tradition, so you can look up Yoruba tradition, look up what was happening in the year that you were born. There are ways to find out different pieces of information and allow your imagination also to flourish, because that's all part of how you build your intuition to things. Because sometimes you could read something and for some reason you just connect to the thing that you've read and you don't know why. Yeah, and it's such a powerful feeling. That's intuition. And that's one of the words that I love to use, because we have no idea the power of intuition. Something that we all have, but something that many of us have lost the ability to experience. We don't trust our intuition. I like to think of intuition as a guide from the elders, a guide from a higher being, a guide from your ancestors, because it's something you can't go and buy. It's something that resides deep within you. And for most people, your intuition doesn't set you astray. It guides you. It gives you wisdom. It informs how you go. It gives you signals as to why you should step away from something, why you should go closer to something. Intuition is something. I have people ask me, well, I don't have intuition. I don't know what it means. Everybody has intuition, and you can develop it, because when you do, you're also honoring yourself. You're honoring your thinking. You're honoring your way of being. You're trusting yourself. Something, again, that sadly we have lost the ability to trust who we are, to trust our thinking, to trust decisions we make, because we live in a society where we're told how to think, how to eat, how to dress, you know, and people are, like I said earlier, living other people's lives, because they don't trust who they are, or they haven't given themselves a chance to really think. Because if you do, sometimes you find that the life you're living is completely opposed to who you are and who you should be. And that's a very scary thing, because once you know, like the great Miss Oprah said, or I think it was Maya Angelou, when you know better, you do better. At least you try, and if you don't, it's your intuition that will, once you've allowed yourself to connect with your intuition, you've given it permission to reign freely within you, it will give you the information you need. So researching your family history, talking to other people, learning the cultural practices from your region, from your um, tribe. Over the years, I've suddenly found a little bit of resentment in, not resentment, but I'm cautious about using the word tribe because I think it's a word that was given to us, and as a way to separate us. So but I'm used to saying it. So learning about where you're from, or the practices that you know existed there, that still do, that have maybe over the years have evolved. Learn. Find out as much as you can. In the events that happen where you're from, generational traumas. You know, maybe you can get that information from family. All these things are all information that is very useful, and I want to stress, if you don't have anybody to ask, that's okay. Just get as much information as you can, to help you and to help your mind to start thinking in a different way. And once you gather this information, then you decide, how do I want to proceed with this? What do I want to do? What do I want to um, to find out about ancestral healing that I think can be of benefit to me? And then that's where I suggest you connect with somebody who does the work, because then you can have somebody who supports you in looking at the little things that you need to do in the beginning before you proceed to the bigger things. Because again, for some people, they may decide, no, I don't think I can do this. And that's fine. For some people, it could be, I'm not ready for it now, but the seed has been sown and they'll come back to it. And for some people, it's like, yes, this is what it's at. This part right here is what I need. So we all fall on the spectrum. But like I said, if you're listening to this, if you have listened in the past, if you keep coming back to it, that's information for you. It means that your mind has opened up, and it's now for you to decide how you will follow up on it in a way that fits your life and is comfortable for you. So all this information, again, just on its own can be very healing, a standalone healing way of bringing healing in your life. It can help you to understand your roots better, identify positive and negative family patterns, which are very important and relevant. They're relevant insights into looking at your ancestral lineage. The whole pattern. So when you come to me, we will talk. It may take 2 or 3 sessions, just gathering all this information. I would have told you the things to look, to go out into the world to look for. And as you're gathering, because it's an ongoing thing, you may gather as much information as you want, but as we're working, for a lot of people, they find that they become very excited and they want to find out more. Then they remember one uncle that lives somewhere. That he would know something about something. That's how it happens. Once your mind is open to it, your curiosity then takes over, and you find out, the more you find out about things, there might be, and that's how the ancestors work too. Once you allow them into your lives, because they're around, but they will only come if you invite them. But they're ready. This time that we're living in now, they know we need them more than ever before. So once you invite them, they will come. And when I say they will come, it's not that some ancestor is going to be sitting on your bed when you wake up in the morning, but it's your sensibilities around your people will be awakened, and you'll find that There are things that even you might remember, like I was saying, things that I remembered when I was a child, that I say to myself, how in the world did I remember that? But I know that I've opened up my mind to receive information when it comes. So looking at when you bring all this information, we'll talk about it, the things, and there may be specific things that want you want to flag, and so I'll take note of all of that. And when you're finally ready, we find ways to connect to your ancestors in a way that is comfortable for you. There is a process, looking at your different the different lineages, the four different lineages that you come from, your mother's mother, father's mother, and your mother's mother and mother's father. There are steps, that we follow to look at how healed and how well those lineages are, because it's your well and vibrant ancestors that we're looking to approach. Just like the um, people who are living who are not well and vibrant, there are ancestors who are the same. So we're not looking to engage with those ancestors. We're looking for those who have gone on. They've taken up their place as well, vibrant ancestors, and are ready to support you in the work. So when we finally start the work, what I tell people to do is, and it has to be in ways that are most comfortable for you. I invite them to create an altar. And sometimes people get a bit anxious when I say altar. It's like, oh, but are we worshiping some, deities? I said, it's when I say an altar, it's just a clean space that is dedicated to all things to do with your ancestor. You may want to put pictures of loved ones that have gone on. You may want to have a candle on there. You may want to have a Bible if you're religious. So it's just, you just know that this space is a dedicated space for all things ancestral. And the space needs to be tended, to be kept clean, because that's very important. And you use the space also for meditation, anything to do with your ancestors. That space will be created for that. And when I work with somebody, like I said, the work that we do that is set out is very individual for that person. So I will need to find out if the person is a religious person, then part of the package that will be used will include religious things that they want to add to the package. So it's worth talking to the person and looking at all the things that they need to help them based on the life that they live now. And because it's looking at how you're going to it's not living a separate life from the life that you live now. It's trying to incorporate ways of connection to your ancestors to the life that you're living now. So with the package, we will create ceremonies. There'll be guided visualization, prayer, if that is appropriate, chanting, if that's appropriate for you. And again, I'm saying these words gingerly because I know, particularly from the African culture, or if you're religious, when you hear things like chanting, there are certain triggers, certain words that are triggers for people, but only because very negative things have been put on them, and untruths, really. Chanting could just be saying a few words that become mantras for you, that when you wake up in the morning, you say those things based on the information that we've gathered. There are bits and pieces that can be taken from that. I remember when I first started, there's a little nursery rhyme that my grandfather used to say, and I remembered it. Every time he saw me or I was gloomy or unhappy, he'd burst into my room, shake my hands, say, "Ara mi leo, ara kuta le mi fe, ara mi," And he always used to do it. And within an instant, I would brighten up. And that memory came back to me. And I thought, maybe I'm supposed to, use this, say these words when I feel bad. And I started doing it. And without, it doesn't matter what's going on. If I chant those few words, my mood changes instantly. That's how powerful these things can be, because obviously I associate it with my wonderful puppy. And also, it was done always to brighten me up. So I added that to my own rituals that I do. And I love it. I love it. So you find the things that you are familiar with, things that you want to incorporate in your meditation. And like I said earlier, it's a very intentional practice, because it's not something you do one day and then you don't do it again. Because you have to build up all these different ways of thinking and being that become part and parcel of who you are. So these are the things that we would talk about and start doing. And then writing a journal, because it's very important to document your experiences, because once you start doing the practice, you'll have dreams, you'll have thoughts that come to you while you're awake, you'll have visions yourself, you see, and everything, all those things are important, because they're things that we will talk about as we continue to do the work. So that's just some of the things. There's a lot more, but I'd like to invite you, if you're interested, to drop me a line. Go onto my website. You'll see all the information as to what the process involves. And let's have a call, a free call, and talk some more about it and see how maybe I can be of service to you.